Hey guys, what's going on? Mouse here. So in this video, let's talk about solo leveling Arise Overdrive. I actually just got my first gold weapon here after grinding for a few hours, and in this video, I'm just going to share with you guys my full thoughts on how the game feels, how it plays, and also on its direction. Now keep in mind that this is a demo version with early content, limited builds, limited features. Not everything is final yet. I know some people did not like how Overdrive got a lot of features we've all been asking for in SLA, like this test dummy for example. But do take note however that this is still just a demo. For example, this does not even have a damage counter yet, meaning this is still unfinished. Like many of the new features here, I believe this is mainly just to showcase what we can expect from Overdrive's core systems. And since it is a package game, it makes sense to do this, right? Because they want to showcase the game, and at least it should be close to complete before release, and then just have some updates occasionally. So that being said, we don't know yet if some of these features are already scheduled or planned for the mobile SLA version, along with some updates. So I think it's better to just wait for further announcements and the remaining months of roadmap for the second half of 2025. Now, for some extra context, Netmarble did officially say that Overdrive is being built as a separate standalone game from Arise, so it's not going to be a port. This version is focused entirely on PC and console players. No auto battle and a more classic action RPG structure. So hunters and weapons as of now can be obtained through gameplay progressions, not summons or the typical gacha way. The total power system is also not here anymore. But of course, there's still a chance they might add some form of that later, but as a buy-to-play game, it might not be as aggressive compared to the typical mobile gacha game with lots of microtransactions. So they also mentioned that Arise will continue as the live service version we're playing now, with regular updates, new hunters, events, and gacha-based systems, and that the development of Overdrive will never lead to a reduction in development resources or a decline in service quality for the currently serviced Arise. So whether or not you would believe them there, it will be up to you, of course. But what's clear to me personally is that Overdrive is clearly targeting a different kind of player. Those who probably don't like gachas, those who want full package experience, those who want engaging and responsive combat, skill-based mechanics, more precise controls. And to be honest, I already felt that shift the first time I played the game, fought Igris in the demo. It just felt different, and I know for sure that this style will not be for everybody. So in Overdrive, you can craft weapons for Jinwoo and the hunters, and they go through different tiers. The materials you need drop from specific dungeons. So for example, if you want to make this weapon, I have to farm a stage that drops exactly that material, and the drop rate is, I would say, average. I had to do like 8 runs to get the 2 pieces I need. Pretty decent, I would say. Now for the hunters, the currencies used to recruit them also drop from dungeons, but there's still RNG here. You reset the resume using gold, find the hunter you want to recruit, then use the recruitment currency. There's a chance to fail, and the success rate increases the more you fail, kind of like a pity, but not a guaranteed one. Some people might think that this could get repetitive, and that's fair, it tends to, but I also think it's still too early to judge that because we're still in chapter 1 of the demo and we don't know what kind of boss fights or challenge stages are coming and whether that grind will actually feel worth it later on. Because if something can get repetitive, it all depends on whether that grind feels rewarding, if it connects to the progression and end game properly. Will there be something worth it at the end of all those grinding? And right now, we don't have that in the demo yet. There's no guild, no guild war, no PvP, no workshop of brilliant light, no power of destruction, no battlefield of time. We really don't know if they will even add these or maybe develop a new game mode available only to the Overdrive version of the game. And that's part of why I don't think this game will be for everyone, aside from device restrictions, of course. Even if it looks like it has better features than Arise in some ways, being a PC and console game, it's important to understand that mobile games and console or PC games have different priorities. Like mobile is often more on the management heavy side, building teams, upgrading gear, doing dailies, and it is also for those who want to just game on the go, like while commuting or during break time at work. But for action RPGs, especially in console, I believe that people want more of that hands-on combat and grind. No auto, full control, satisfying combat, having fun, just getting those pairs in and playing with friends. And that means you need to really be fully engaged the entire time. So not everyone's gonna enjoy that long term, I feel. It really will depend on what kind of players you are, because players who would like this game will probably be a very different gamer demographics. Now, some people might not agree, but honestly, I think it's better that way. Firstly, makes way harder for bots and macros to abuse the system if there's no auto battle and such, because bots and exploits might be one of the major issues that will happen eventually. And it also rewards players, of course, who want to play, which I think is also good. And here's the thing, these tasks cannot be like tasks that you can finish fast, because in this kind of game we need players online, because if co-op becomes a bigger part of the end game, you're gonna want active player base to play co-op with, right? So the more the game encourages real engaged play, the more likely we'll have people consistently online, which means better and more consistent co-op experience overall. With regards to the combat, is like I said, it's 100% manual. There's parry, there's block, and if you successfully parry, you trigger a QTE that instantly staggers the enemy, kind of like a break in SLA. But the break gauge here works a bit differently. I'm not sure if they're gonna change this. It regenerates almost instantly, and its impact is not really felt much yet in the demo. I do think though that late game content might require more precise parrying to deal huge amounts of damage, and I think that would be very fun. And there's also no timer anymore for each stage, so this makes it probably possible to clear harder dungeons with just a bit more effort and skillful gameplay, of course. But with regards to adding this to the Arise version, I'm not sure if adding more complex combat systems that are hard to execute will be good for mobile players, because if you guys remember, there has been a lot of content that has been nerfed because people were complaining about how hard they are. Like, for example, a floor 35 of Battlefield of Trial. I think it's one of the most memorable. Clearing this in the first few months is very, very satisfying to me, but it's not the same for majority of the people, right? And the point I'm getting at is that even though someone like me or some of you guys would want these kinds of systems in the game, that might not be what most people want, especially for those who just want a straightforward combat, not so try hard. Because let's get real, there are mobile issues, there are skill issues, and a lot of people will complain about that 100%. So going back to Overdrive, roles might actually start to matter more. Who's parrying, who's hitting from behind, there's back attacks here as well, who's debuffing and so on. And by the way, there are also job classes involved. Although you can reset it and add what you want, I would think that there will still be roles to efficiently clear hard dungeons. I guess we'll learn more about that soon. And just a quick side note too, Jinwoo here has this Monarch Transformation that gives him new skills for a limited time. It's not in Arise yet, but since this is just a demo, I doubt that it will be available right away in Overdrive either, because it won't make sense that Jinwoo can already do this in the early stages lore-wise. I would not be surprised if we eventually get this in Arise too. So just to emphasize again, this is a demo, not a full release. Some of the systems might even show up in the Rise before Overdrive launches, so don't stress too much about it just yet. And also about the bugs, we're not sure if Overdrive will have as much bugs either, so it could end up that both games will suffer from this problem. But yeah, progression here feels different, probably take more grind, more effort. It's how console and PC players usually prefer it. Full gameplay involvement, not just collecting units and managing currencies. And honestly, that's gonna be the main appeal of this game, I feel. It might take a while to progress, but at least you play when you want to. No fear of missing dailies or weekly resets compared to the SLA with gacha format. But of course, some people enjoy the daily gacha grind, constant events, login rewards, regular pulls, burning money, and others would prefer a one-time buy, grind on their own terms at their own pace. Yeah, this will definitely affect the community. It might even split it in some ways, at least initially. But what I'm really curious about is whether Overdrive can actually build a community as strong as Arise. Like, the barrier of entry in terms of device and specs are going to be a factor too. Will it be worth the price point? Will there be enough traction on the PC and console space? Will enough players actually stick with it to keep it alive? Or who knows, maybe Overdrive might end up pulling more PC console players into SLA. So that could also go both ways, and both games might actually end up supporting each other. But those are things that we don't know yet. Depends on what Netmarble is planning. But at the end of the day, I think both games will find their own audiences. Arise is still gonna be for gacha players who want the live service, regular content, events, collection grind. And Overdrive is, the way I see it, in my opinion, it's clearly for players who want more direct gameplay. No auto, no idle farming, just the classic ARPG. And I'm fine with that too, because like I've played ARPGs with lots of grind, even doing alt grinds. For example, in Lost Ark, I've spent a lot of hours on those. So I really think these are two different games that will scratch a different itch. Personally, I'll probably just play both. Do my dailies in Arise, then hop into Overdrive during downtime. Same way a lot of us already play other titles after clearing our SLA dailies and weeklies, right? And just one last thing, if you're someone who's worried that Overdrive might end up killing Arise, I would advise you to just stop spending for now, do the bare minimum, your dailies, your weeklies, and wait for the next roadmap before you decide anything long term. So we'll just see how things would play out over the coming months. So that's what I think about this game. If you found this helpful, feel free to like and subscribe, and do let me know in the comments, will you still play Arise, will you leave it for Overdrive, or will you play both?